In a heart-wrenching scene, floodwaters have engulfed vast space of Maiduguri and parts of Yere local government area, submerging major roads, homes and businesses. Iconic landmarks such as the Shehu's Palace, the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital and Sanda Kiarimi Park Zoo have all been inundated. Amid this disaster, a prison near the customs area was breached by the flooding. It is reported that several inmates tragically perished, while others fled to preserve their lives. Key roads like the post office roundabout, a critical junction connecting many parts of the capital, lie inaccessible. The backdrop is heavy rainfall, battering 30 of Nigeria's 36 states. Government figures reveal over 1 million people are directly impacted by the floods, with a death toll of 269 lives lost. More than 640,000 people are displaced from their homes.
Now, numbers and coordination, you improve them as you get into the situation. I remember first day, Tuesday morning, when I first looked at the number of people affected, I was told 50,000. But as the day was going, as the hour was going, we could see that the number kept increasing. But I'm sure that soon we will have a kind of clear idea. So far, we are using the number of over 400,000. Some says 414,000 to be more specific. Some says 100,000 people already relocated to IDP site. The two sites that I have visited this morning were close to 30,000 people already. And this was just, by the way, to school. And I know that if you have, I've gone around Bakassi and all, and mainly those informal settlements that probably are not yet in the picture, the number could be maybe around 100,000, but I just don't want to be clear. But this is something that we are working on, and I'm sure the SEMA and the other organizations within the state that are coordinating the response would have maybe better idea on what the exact figure are.
Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Zulum echoed the dire numbers, stating that over 1 million people are enduring the devastating effects of the flood waters.
but you have seen, I think, about 1/4 of the entire Maiduguri was flooded by water. I think the population will reach up to 1 million. The water that we received this year exceeds the carrying capacity of the dam. We have a very heavy storm. It might be associated with climate change. That is the most important thing. So what we need to do is to now reinforce the dam, reconstruct the dam, expand the capacity of the dam, and most importantly, defilt the drains. Because most of the waterways were occupied by human beings. If you can remember a few years ago, when I was sworn in as the governor of Borno State, I followed all this route, and I asked people to bucket on the waterways. But unfortunately, people don't heed to our own advice. People build homes right inside waterways, thereby reducing the width of the canals. These are some of the factors that are responsible for the overflowing. But most importantly, we are witnessing rainfall, storm, that has not been seen in the recent years, up to 50, 60 years ago. So the soil has become completely saturated. The dam is completely filled up. The carrying capacity of the dam will no longer hold additional water. And then there was release of water from Cameroon and other countries at the upstream. That has compounded the whole issue. But a detailed assessment will be done in order to examine the remote causes of the flooding, so that medium and longer term sustainable solution shall be implemented with a view to averting future crises.
Maiduguri, a crucial humanitarian hub in the northeastern region, bears the brunt of this calamity. A significant number of the displaced had previously been forced to flee due to conflict and the worsening climate crisis. Close to 400,000 people now find themselves temporarily housed in 30 relocation centers scattered across affected areas.
We are here to provide immediate support for them. The flood has affected them. They can't have access to their banks even. So what we decided to do is to give 10,000 naira to each of the heads of household, both male and female heads household. This is what we are doing. Then subsequently we'll distribute food and non-food items to all of them. So far so good. We have mobilized cooks, and they have started cooking food in this camp. So these are immediate palliative measures that will cushion their immediate effect.
Military forces, volunteers and security agencies are tirelessly evacuating families trapped in submerged zones, ferrying them to safety as the floodwaters continue to rise. The plight of internally displaced persons remains a heart-wrenching testament to the disruption caused by conflict and natural disasters. Stripped of the stability that homes provide, these individuals often seek refuge in overcrowded camps or impoverished shelters. The emotional and psychological toll they bear is compounded by the scarcity of basic amenities, clean water, adequate food, and medical care that many of us often take for granted. As their lives hang in a precarious balance, their resilience becomes a stark reminder of the human spirit's ability to endure adversity. However, the question of sustainable reintegration into society looms large, with most IDPs trapped in prolonged uncertainty. In their temporary sanctuaries, IDPs grapple with the lingering shadows of trauma, the persistent threat of hunger, inadequate sanitation, and the lack of educational opportunities for children deepens their vulnerability. Despite international efforts to address their needs, the sheer scale of displacement continues to outpace available resources, leaving many displaced communities stranded in a limbo of survival. This crisis demands not only immediate humanitarian assistance, but also long-term solutions that tackle the root causes, ensuring that displaced populations can one day return to homes or rebuild their lives in a more secure environment.
In any given disaster, this is something that is a challenge. Mainly if the disaster go in a situation where sometimes accessing to all the areas that are affected become a challenge. I was told that so far we still have thousands who are in places where the water level haven't gone down yet, and where, for example, we don't have the logistic to reach them, and where maybe rescuing them is even important. And that was one of the first questions I asked. When I asked number for it, they say 1,000, but it was very difficult to be specific. And what we do in general in this kind of context is that we continue to step up the work related to the rescue and saving life of those people as we respond to the immediate need of those that have already been rescued or that have been already relocated to safer place. That's the kind of twofold response that UN is working on. Now, my other point is also everything is about coordination. And as you say, even we, the reason and the message we want to send through this joint mission, which we could have undertaken on an individual basis, it is to show to the people, is to show to the partner, to show to the government how UN want to be united around the response on this. I think that's one of the points. But let's face it also, the primary responsibility of responding to this crisis is the responsibility of the Borno State government. We come in support while they are sitting on the driving seat. That's how our partnership has been defined, that's how it has been built, that's how it has worked before we reach this level or before this crisis, and this is how it will continue to work.
Across Borno State, The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, reports that 414,000 individuals have been affected, and at least 37 have lost their lives. Rescue operations persist, with teams navigating treacherous conditions to reach survivors.
As part of ongoing efforts, internally displaced camps have been activated in some states, most especially with the recent one, Borno, that we have seen. The state government has been very proactive, and so far they have about 9 IDP camps. Additional staff have also been deployed to support search and rescue operations. We have also deployed water purification and critical search and rescue equipment to affected states, especially Borno being the most recent, while food and non-food items are also being provided to support the affected persons.
The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons expressed profound sorrow over the crisis, which stemmed from the overflowing Alo Dam. President Bola Tinubu visited Maiduguri, where he expressed his deepest condolences to the people of Borno State and pledged full government support to mitigate the impact of the disaster. In a moment of reflection, as families scramble for safety, and lives are upturned, the question lingers: what further actions will be taken to prevent such tragedies in the future? And, more crucially, how will Nigeria rise from the depths of this calamity?